Welcome back to Gossip Chapter. Today we're breaking down rising tensions between the United States and Iran, from internal unrest and threats of war to the latest updates that now have the world watching closely. The current escalation began inside Iran itself. In late December, mass protests erupted across the country over economic collapse, rising inflation, and frustration with Iran's leadership. The demonstrations spread rapidly, from Tehran to multiple major cities. Iranian authorities responded with a severe crackdown. Security forces used live ammunition, thousands were arrested, and human rights groups report thousands of deaths, making it one of the deadliest protest crackdowns in Iran's history. The situation quickly drew international attention, especially from the United States. U.S. officials strongly condemned the Iranian government, accusing it of violent repression and warning that all options are on the table. President Donald Trump publicly criticized Iran's leadership, escalating rhetoric that immediately raised fears of military conflict. Iran responded sharply. Iranian leaders warned that any foreign intervention would be treated as an act of war, saying the country is ready to defend itself militarily if attacked, while also claiming they remain open to talks, but not under threats. That exchange of warnings marked the beginning of the current U.S.-Iran escalation. But in the days since, the situation has moved beyond words, and the consequences are already spreading. As tensions grew, the United Nations Human Rights Council announced an emergency session focused on Iran, citing alarming reports of violence and civilian deaths. At the same time, Iran imposed internet blackouts, limiting outside reporting and adding to global concern over what's happening on the ground. Regionally, Gulf countries, many of which host United States military bases, have stepped in, pushing hard for de-escalation. They fear that a direct United States-Iran conflict could destabilize the entire Middle East. Despite tough public language, some United States officials have signaled a preference for diplomacy over war, saying negotiations are still possible if Iran changes course. Meanwhile, reports of increased United States military movement toward the Middle East have fueled speculation, though no direct attack has been confirmed. Economically, global markets are already reacting. Oil prices briefly jumped, driven by fears that any conflict involving Iran could disrupt global energy supply. For now, both sides remain locked in a tense standoff, with protests ongoing in Iran, diplomatic pressure building, and the risk of miscalculation hanging in the air. Whether this ends in diplomacy or further escalation remains to be seen, but the stakes are high and the situation is still unfolding. Stay locked to Gossip Chapter for verified updates as this story develops.